This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mictor Robentau, Edwin, Anathos Moonscar, Pamela Isley, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira Miri, Celestau Notrell, Lazy Boy, A Wild Sarah, Luke Osborne, Pandalu Stormarrow, Tex, Kylin, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Cypup, Spencer Christmas, Noy Fafnir, Celine DeLune, Webster Wolf, Severa, Sir Cabarakeel, AJ Brainswordson, Kazran, Ventos Tia, Edward Allond, Nat Clay, Gregorium, Cafe, Ryark Forbear, and Pizza Pockets. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 356.
Whoa.
I'm joined today by Georgi Wishton, Mel Vanadar, and Rollo Des. We've made a whole year worth of episodes today. Watch one a day and you fill out a year, but you can't because only I can do that because I'm the only one who still has all the episodes.
You know we're 9 days off of a full year.
How do you mean?
Watch the
There's
specials.
365 days in a year.
Oh yeah.
Restart so we don't look stupid.
No, keep this in.
Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
What calendar are we on?
The reason I was so quick to go for that is
Gregorian calendar.
I knew we were getting close to like 365.
Yeah, and it looked like it.
Yeah,
at a distance.
Yeah, at a distance.
It was panning. It was an anagram of 365.
In 9 weeks, we will have made one episode. Sorry,
But only Dukeel will be able to watch it. Again.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
We'll do that joke again. Yeah.
Look forward to it.
It is June 24th, 2023, and it is a calm week in terms of 14, because it is the launch week of 16, so most focus has been shifted to that. But we will be talking about patch 6.41 today, and we'll be talking about upcoming events. We'll be talking about an upcoming event. There's only one. Stay tuned for the post. Also, we'll be reading lots of MogMail today. speakersxv.com/MogMail. Stay tuned for the post show. We'll be reading questions from the Syndicate. And as usual, speakersxv.com/mods2023. All right, let's go into recent events. Yes, we are starting off with the upcoming event, Make It Rain. It's back, baby.
It's that time of year when there aren't any real events, so they do Make It Rain.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Get your MGP, make lots.
Yeah.
I thought this was earlier in the year because it feels like the gap between Make It Rain and whatever the last event was is massive.
Yeah.
Was it Easter last?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the beginning of April, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
So, starting June 30th until July 17th, we'll be having Make It Rain, giving Thrill Seekers the chance to earn 50% more MGP. The campaign attendant offers...
2 weeks, that seems really long.
Yeah, the campaign attendant offers discounts on a range of incredible prices, such as furnishings that allow you to play Gold Saucer minigames in the comfort of your estate hall. Too late for that, we already have. Join the festivities and rake in the rewards. That's it. Oh yeah, also the one line of text we get for the quest. Kipiakia needs help penning her next hit article.
That was very Norwegian.
Kipi
That was very Norwegian.
Yakia. Jakia.
I think I've always pronounced it as Jackia, but I don't think there's any pronunciation guide for
No.
how Mikote names work.
No.
No. It's going to be a bit of a light one this year, I envisage, with that as the only thing to go off. But I'm always happy to be pleasantly surprised because the mystery ones have been very good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
definitely.
we know what the reward is. It's Wind Up Godbert.
That's cool. It's a nice minion.
Yeah.
Look how detailed his massive head is.
He's
Yeah.
a cute little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's surprised that he's got a shirt on?
me. But
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That is
maybe we'll
surprising.
get like a Godbert unhinged for the relic or something.
But also, I don't think we've ever seen a mammoth without a shirt on, and I feel like the world isn't ready for that.
No,
I
that's
agree.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
We have to set a standard and live by it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's. I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's.
If you
Make it
are
rain.
so inclined, you can make a lot of MGP during this period of time.
Yes. There's also like discounts on all of the things
Yeah,
as well.
you
So
can get a lot of extra stuff. So if you want the mounts,
yeah.
go for it.
Are the mounts discounted? I don't think they are, right? I think it's only well, it's
Yeah,
select.
everything.
Oh, everything.
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure everything is.
Okay.
Like everything that's like in the like the mounts aren't. I thought they were.
I'm pretty. I don't remember. So I'm not gonna say
Yes.
anything about it. But whatever, you'll find out. Select goods, let's just say. Select items are 50% off or discounted. I should say, not even 50%, discounted.
Yeah, fill up your boots with all of the Cactuar glamours that you obviously can't. You can't fill out your Cactuar glamour section in your glamour log yet, but
Right.
have them on hand for when that's added.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah. Okay, moving on to a story that I think we talked about covering at some point, but there was no like real source back then. Yoshi-P tried to quit the board of directors. He was suffering from success, and Square was like, "Don't leave."
Please, baby, I can change.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yoshida. So this is a quote from a Dutch article,
Whoa.
where he said.
Congratulations to
So
the
this was already
Netherlands.
like
Media.
this was apparent. This was like a story that was like I don't remember if it was in the press or if it was just like rumors like going around. But I do distinctly remember that we were considering covering this at some point, but we didn't know because there was no source. So here it is. Yoshida's been part of the board of directors since the 14th game has been successful, which he doesn't like as much. Quote, I recently tried to quit that work, but the company didn't agree with it. I don't want to be in the board. It's much more fun to just make games. End quote. He doesn't understand colleagues who want to enter the board. Quote, they probably just want to make a ton of money, but you can also just do that as a game developer. End quote. There you go.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's. I wouldn't. I mean, being on any kind of board directors kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're no longer really part of game development. It's like upper management,
Yeah.
senior level position. You're never going to be able to do what you want.
Yeah.
Well, there is a benefit to it because it allows him a greater degree of freedom in projects that he actually wants to pursue. But
That's true.
yes, I imagine it is also annoying to have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's kind of he loses a bit but gains a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. So if you were wondering how he feels about being on the board,
Hates
he's
it.
not loving it. So he's doing it out of as an obligation, I guess. He does it because he has to. All right. 6.41 was released. I guess there's not. This is not a big patch to talk about, but we'll look at it real quick. But let's see. We'll have it here. Mostly fixes relating to Golbez Extreme and some other stuff, but let's see here. So Pandemonium Abysso Savage Echo has been applied.
Mhm.
10%.
That's the middle 10.
Yeah. And then for resolved issues, there we go. An issue in the Voidcast Dais and the Voidcast Dais Extreme, wherein the target of Golbez's double meteor standing on top of one another caused its knockback effect to function incorrectly.
It causes the knockback to transfer from the person with the knockback to the person standing on top of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An issue in the Voidcast Dais Extreme, wherein Golbez executing Eventide Triad or Eventide Fall caused him to stop moving under certain conditions. I don't think we ever saw
that would have been nice. We never got that.
That would have been an issue, as long as you stand in correct position still.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know if there's any like cool things, interesting things.
There was the issue where machinists thought they were better at content than they realized because the HP of the Stone Sky Sea was too low.
Yeah.
So machinist players going into content they didn't deserve to be in.
Yeah.
Don't laugh like that.
This is also an interesting issue that has been fixed. An issue in the Island Sanctuary wherein furnishing glamours could not be seen by other players visiting an island.
That's
That would be annoying if you wanted to have a gathering with your fellows.
Yeah.
Look what I've done with the place. It's just empty.
Wow, it looks empty.
Yeah. So there you go. Other minor issues as well has been addressed, but that's the patch. So next patch is...
That's the 0.5, so that will be the relic and all that cool stuff that we're actually excited for.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll be in
0.45 is I would say a month away.
Yeah.
It's normally 8 weeks under the current schedule, 8 weeks after the initial patch release. So everyone should have the what's it called?
Tome weapon?
Yes,
Tome.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
So like late July, like 18th or 25th.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have to talk about Final Fantasy 16 because it is launch week, and Japan's greatest comedian has once again struck. On the Final Fantasy 14 Twitter, the following message was posted was it yesterday or a couple of days ago? Producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, Naoki Yoshida here. Congrats on the launch of the latest Final Fantasy. Once things settle down, we should chat about a collab. Oh, this is a quote tweet for 16's launch tweet. I recommend giving #Final Fantasy 16 a try, Warriors of Light. It's our newest Final Fantasy title, at least until our next patch launches.
Was that a real
Right.
Twitter thing? You know how on Twitter some hashtags...
Yes, it is a real Twitter thing.
That's neat.
Yeah.
It is neat, but there is something that annoys me about this tweet, and I imagine Nikhil might know what it is.
Wait, what do you mean?
It is something you've complained about before. Specifically in this tweet, it's the fact that it would be better if it was on screen, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, we don't have it.
It's the fact that 14 is in Roman numerals, and then 16 is in numbers.
Yeah.
They do it just for you, to annoy you in particular, I think.
Yeah.
Also,
I didn't even think about it, but now I do.
That every time Final Fantasy 14 has just a patch, it automatically becomes the newest Final Fantasy game. That's not how it works.
Maybe with expansions, maybe you could say that.
Expansions, sure, but expansions are like side games. They're like 10 to 13, Lightning Return.
Yeah,
like the side games.
Yeah. I don't know if we've mentioned this. I think we might have alluded to it, but did we talk about how 11 is not doing so well?
I think so.
No, I don't think so.
There's a little bit of fear in the 11 community now that 11 might be looking at the end.
Well,
there was,
I think, didn't we say something about them scaling back their
updates
or whatever?
Yeah,
I think we talked about that.
Yeah,
they scaled it up because they were going to have that new
it was weird because
and then they scaled it down again.
They were preparing to even launch what looked like some sort of like expansion-esque thing, and then all of a sudden they were like, no, we're going to go into maintenance mode very soon. So 11 is. I think 11 should have gone into maintenance mode after Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, because that was supposed to be the end of the game. But good. They got a second wind, and now it is over. I think.
Very, very brief wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we know what caused the second wind?
I remember it got a bit popular with streamers because some big people went and played 11.
Ninja
and maybe they thought,
came back.
Ninja played it. So maybe they thought, if lots of people are suddenly playing it, maybe we should get the team together for one last hurrah.
And then other creators, 14 creators went back. I mean, we went back. We caused a big surge in 11 player numbers.
Yeah, we doubled the population.
That's right. And then I think people just didn't care anymore after a while. And now the player numbers are dwindling.
When they went back and realized that they had to turn the camera with their numpad, they probably thought, you know what, this isn't really for me anymore. We have mice now.
Well, I think it's because 14 has converted so many 11 players that they're not coming. Once you've... I mean, a lot of people went to 14 and then went back to 11 because it wasn't their cup of tea, and that's fine. But once someone has been converted to 14, once you've played 14 and you like the game, it's very difficult to come back and play 11. And that's what's happening, I think.
I think they should very much consider making some sort of combined subscription for 14 and 11 if it is going to go into maintenance mode.
Yes.
I agree with that.
This is the last chance, it feels like, to do that.
It's time for them to start thinking about the big plan for converting it into a single-player experience.
Right.
Preservation, I think.
Yes, I agree.
Well, I will say I don't fear for 11's like if Square Enix turned 11 off like just next week, I wouldn't be worried because there are literally hundreds of private servers that has the entire server code down. So the game is preserved.
It's preserved in that respect, but it would be nicer from their perspective as well to have people be able to buy it and play it at any point, 30 years down the line.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
And I think that's necessary.
If they shut down 11, it would be a perfect opportunity for them to do it, to make maybe even remake 11 as like a single player game. Because this has never happened before.
All the rage at Square Enix right now.
Well, the thing is, this has never happened before. That we are now looking at potentially losing a game in the franchise. Like a game will be unavailable. Like, we're just going to be
like... What are you talking about? It happened to Final Fantasy Mobius.
Well, that's not a mainline.
That's not a mainline game.
Lots of spin-off games are gone. That's fine. They're usually, and I'm so sorry, I'm sure there are good ones, but a lot of them not worth, crying over.
What was that really good one? It was like it was where you went through all the different Final Fantasy games, but it was pixels and it had like 14 and everything.
Record
Keeper.
Record Keeper. Yeah,
that was brilliant.
Yeah, Record Keeper.
I wish they made that as like a Steam client.
Yeah.
Experience.
Also, remaking 11, that's just like a free game concept that they can just make because the game is already like they have the lore, they have the story, they have the characters. They just need to make
the entire story.
Yeah, they have all they need to just make a new game. Most people haven't played 11, so that's a whole story to enjoy. So do it.
Increasingly fewer people will be because it's archaic.
Yes.
It certainly is. It's like a text adventure game almost.
Yeah. That's a bit much.
But they're still fun if you
Nothing like going into like I played it when it was free a couple of like last month, but and I unlocked a dungeon and I did a dungeon for the first time
with real people.
No, it's just me and my trusts. And my
when you say for the first time, do you mean
like
ever? Or...
No, as for my character, like at that I was endgame in 11, but I've started a new character, so I unlocked Delphicut's Tower.
I'm sorry?
I never remember his name. Delphcut's Tower, right? I think that's what it's called. It's the same dungeon that we did in Stranger of Paradise.
Stranger of Paradise.
The bone-looking structure.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. But it's weird because it's an open world dungeon, so there's just still people just like hanging out, people AFKing in there, you know, just it's an experience.
Seen N14, someone just like AFKing and like, I don't know.
You're doing like
Steps of Faith.
Yeah.
Or not.
No, you're doing like Copperbell Mines, and there's just like some dude like crafting off the side.
No, they're AFKing in the whole of Sestasha.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. They just put it to Captain Madison.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know where we are, but yes, sorry, 16 is out. That's it. That's all.
Go play it if you can have it.
Go play it.
Before we move on to MogMail, we should also mention the subreddit is back now.
Yes, the subreddit is back. Thank God.
For now. Just you wait.
For now.
I don't know. Might change.
I don't think that's going to change based on what we've read. Okay, I guess we're gonna jump into MogMail. So let's do that. Here we go. This is from Auntie Iris.
Oh, Auntie Iris.
From Halicarnassus. Hello, speakers. Thank you for speaking about my last letter concerning the goings-on in Meracydia and what they might think of our friend Graha. I wanted to follow up with the thought I had when one of you mentioned how we might even get to Meracydia. It was said that, due to the vast ocean separating the island nation from us, we may need a large ship to get there. I instantly thought of one very feisty Lalafell we all know and love who has her own questline around building up the capital/connections that could provide us with such a ship. The developers have said that Tataru's grand endeavor would become more important, so my question is, what if her storyline through that quest chain is what brings us to going to Meracydia in 7.0? I know some folks haven't started that story due to it feeling like it's not important. Should we all take a second and go catch up with our old friend and see what she has been up to, or has Auntie been adding too much Black Belly whiskey to her morning coffee again? As always, it's lovely. Auntie, stop. It's lovely to get all your opinions and theories and lore from the markets of Ul'dah, Auntie Iris. Well, thank you, Auntie.
Auntie Iris, you need to stop with the Black Belly whiskey.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good for you. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect way of like setting it up. And also, Tataru's grand endeavor is already like making a lot of stuff. Like you have to complete a lot of story stuff to do Tataru,
which is why I would think not, because it's going to require people to do the Mark storyline, the Four Lords storyline, and the Sorrows of Wordlet storyline at a minimum at this point.
Yeah.
It's a really clever way of making people do this though, because they only have to say you've done this one, like the last Tataru quest to continue the MSQ. But to do that last Tataru quest, you have to do so much more.
Yeah.
It's like a one quest tick box.
It's stuff he should have done, man. Come on.
I agree.
I think that's going to make people angrier if you phrase it like that, Mela.
Well, I wonder if
be angry while doing Mark.
I wonder if maybe they could do like because the setup is perfect for this. Tataru is the person that would do this. Like I feel like, but yeah, the past quests being a requirement is a problem. They could make it a standalone, possibly like a new season of Tataru's grand endeavor that does not require you to do the first one, but
possibly yes.
That could be one way of solving this, because otherwise I don't really understand who else would get us there. Like we don't really have.
We have like
there's Carvalane. I don't know if he would do it again.
Yeah. And there's Hancock is kind of in with us either way because of.
But is there any trade with Meracydia right now that he could like get connections?
I think so.
So.
I think Carvalane is a decent shout though, but I don't think he'd do it again.
No, I agree. I mean, Vritra's older sister is there. He might have a reason for us to go there.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just fly on Dragon back as well.
Yeah, that's true. We could do that.
I mean, presumably Veritro will want to go there as part of the expansion.
I just can't imagine riding on Dragonback for what would be possibly days, like,
Fast.
hours at
Well,
most, I guess.
It has to be hours because he's able to get to the moon relatively quickly.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You fly on a plane for that long, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just hang on tight.
Maybe we'll do airship. Maybe we just go by airship.
Yeah,
Sid, we have the Bonanza.
Always,
well, we do have.
We have our own.
We do have the Bonanza, but we also know that airships have like they even brought up like the
they have
limit
limited
of, like airship.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like they brought that up about transporting the ether containers from the Isle of Ham to Garlemald.
Right.
Ham.
Apparently that's too far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also why you can't catch an airship from like any of the 3 Eorzean city-states directly to Kugane. You have to stop in Razat Hands if you go via the airship landings.
Although, let's be honest, Limpsa to Razat Ham to Garlemald probably seems about the same distance, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess
it's hard to tell with the different maps we see.
They've added this as a plot device so that
And it also might not be a direct flight mailer, but they're not going to show you the cutscene of you landing in like Gridania and then taking off again for your connecting flight.
Right.
I want that. I need that lore. I need that flight lore.
Well, I will say though, if you haven't done Tataru's Grand Endeavor, you have to.
Just you should.
It's neat. You have to. Just do it.
It is very good.
Yeah.
It's been a nice plot so far.
Yeah.
I am very.
Yeah.
I do wonder if it will require us to do one more piece of content for the final part of it, and
as long as it's not near, it's fine.
Well, no, because we've already done the one for Shadowbringers.
Yeah,
if anything, it would have to be a piece of content from this expansion. So possibly, at this moment, the only one we have completed is Pandemonium, but it could also be the Myths of the Realm storyline as well.
Yeah,
they're both fine.
Maybe we'll get Tataru a gift from the gods.
Right.
Oh, she deserves it.
Right.
But it would be funny if it wasn't here.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, no. I'd have a funny little moment.
No, never again.
No, I'm done with that.
In the game, I think at this point, actually, we're done.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Fight goals again for 45 minutes for one fight. So much.
Yeah, I forgot how fucking horrible that fight is with the big robot man. It
takes so long.
It's so long.
Yeah, it was a long fight.
I was just gonna do like a casual alliance raid roulette just for tomes, and then I get that one. I'm like, well, it's not that bad. But then you get to that fight, and then you're like, oh, thank God it's over, and it's only starting phase 2. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I want to die every time I do that.
If you're doing alliance raid for fun,
go
on a DPSE, just sort of, it's very casual experience. Then.
Yeah, well, we wiped as well on that fight. Just it wasn't good. I was very upset. Okay. Thank you, Auntie Iris. Next question. Sorry, next MogMail, I should say. Here we go.
Oh, the intro again.
You deserve it.
I didn't mean to do that. This is from Nathaniel Clay. I think I recognize that name. From Ragnarok. Hello, speakers. Firstly, to say this isn't a spoof MogMail, as it may seem coming from a whale. Okay. Over the years, side quest with lore out of the normal Alliance and 8-man raid series has been rather lackluster. Only a handful of filler quests are added into each expansion with limited information taken from them and hardly elaborated on. What is your thoughts on Mog Station / Mog Store optional adventures with such additional quests? Nat, you cannot be... These could even go out the way with additional normal mode solo trials, so that it's always accessible to those that purchase, with glamour, that otherwise would be just on the store, and other non-stat based cosmetic items, mount / frame sets / fashion accessories, providing they are far and few and at a reasonable price with decent length. Let's assume 4 hours of story. Would you like to see this added into 14? If so, what would you like to see with more story? Or would you have alternatives for such optional content that goes above the traditional pick up 3 of X and give to Y in between the regular patches? Thank you for the years of entertainment, Nat. Nat. This is a cursed thought. I cannot believe
listen,
About...
have you...
Yeah.
You've been playing
You go,
Destiny
Rolla, sorry.
recently? Because that's what they do. You have to buy dungeons in Destiny separately from the expansion. We should do that to start at,
No. Let's
No.
go through a little history of MMO microtransactions, so you get a little bit of an understanding. So, I'd like you to cast your minds back to EverQuest 2. It's been a while for a lot of you, I'm sure. Now, that had paid side content, like what Nat's after. It had like a kobold dungeon or something in Antonica that you could pay like £5 to get access to. Ridiculous.
Right.
Not very popular. I think they stopped it after the first few. Guild Wars 2. If you're not there, you have to pay for lore. You have to pay for storyline. If you're not there for the world's living story quests, you have to buy them. But if you're there, you keep them for free and you can redo them. Elder Scrolls Online. Every expansion, mini expansion, dungeon expansion, paid for in game, or or you have a subscription. Rollos mentioned Destiny 2, the most heinous of them all, because you not only have to pay for everything, but then they just delete it.
Yeah,
brother.
So you don't even play anymore.
They got the battle pass, you got the expansion, they got events you have to buy, and you got dungeons you got to buy fucking separately. Insane.
So
insane shit to me.
Yeah.
Some of those were free to play MMOs, some of them were buy to play, some of them were sub. But I'm very much against optional, like mini things like this. Realistic.
I mean, I think Yoshi-P has said. I mean, they can always go back on this, but Yoshi-P has said in the past that they never want to put like content on the MOG station.
No. This is like...
Because why do you want to pay for it, Nat? That's the real question. Why do you want this to be paid content?
Yeah, I don't know why...
He has money that he
doesn't know what to do with it.
Away.
He doesn't know what to do with it. He has to put it somewhere.
I mean, invest it or whatever you do.
Give it to me.
Yeah,
give it
for
to
me.
us.
Just
download
give us
Robinhood, buy some stocks.
He gives you plenty of money, Likel.
Give me more. He clearly needs to give me more.
If you are already paying a subscription for an MMO, you are paying I mean, with this game servers, I'm pretty sure I'm paying for their upkeep just by myself because they're not that impressive.
Yeah.
So they're getting enough money. They can add this content. I don't understand the desire. People always say this. Put it on the MOG station.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that glamour's really cool. Can't wait to buy it. Do you not want to earn it?
Well, we've said...
No, I don't want to earn it. I want to get it with, like, MGP or something. I wanted to buy it immediately on patch day.
We've had this discussion somewhat
to
before.
Earn anything anymore.
Yeah, it seems we've reached a point where, for at least for online games, this we just want instant gratification for money. Essentially, is what it's turned into. This feels like dystopian future for games where you pay a sub just to log on to the server, and then you have to buy the dungeons. You have to literally buy the content of the game separately. Otherwise, it's just like a hub, just like Second Life, and then you buy dungeons, which...
Yeah, man. I love games as a service. It's so good.
Games as a service, I will still somewhat defend if it's giving you good content, right? Which I think 14 still does. But if this was the case, fuck that. Like, at that point, go free to play and put every fucking dungeon behind a paywall. You know, whatever. I don't fucking care at that point because I won't be playing.
Passes. Holminster Switch Dungeon Pass. Buy one for like $1.99, or you can buy a bundle of 5 for only $4.99.
Bottle of 5 entries to Holminster Switch.
You can, per dungeon.
I don't.
I mean, the dungeon pass for like $14.99 a month.
Mela, you are right about like what I don't understand this new like let's just buy stuff in the game.
Yeah.
When the game has a structure that gives it to you without having to pay anything extra. Why do you want to pay more?
I don't know.
Where is that coming from?
I think there's a sense of, and this is fair in most MMOs, but the difference there's a sense of wanting to stand out in MMOs.
Yeah.
And be better than your fellow players. But I think this works best in a very hardcore setting where, for example, if I, and you know, maybe 14 is not the, but like in Ultimate, if I've beaten Ultimate and I'm not one of the thousands of people who've just paid for it, and I have a really cool weapon and I can show it off, I feel good. Everyone around me is like, wow, that guy's amazing. He's cleared Ultimate. That's hard content. It's prestigious.
Yeah.
If I've bought Tataru's hat on the Mog Station, people aren't going to think I'm cool. People are going to think I'm an idiot because I spent like $4.99 on Tataru's hat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't understand it because if you're not standing out in a positive way by being just paying for these things.
Is it just because in this, like, if the whales won, right? If they won and they turned the game into, you know, Final Fantasy XIV Whale Edition, we would literally, all content would be purchased and all item rewards would be purchased. No one would actually have to play anything. You just stand in Limsa and show off your golden beak, right?
That sounds good.
You're wearing a golden beak.
Beak
that
of
you
Sabak
you bought
on the Mog Station.
Yeah.
Beak of Sabak.
You bought it for $12.99 on the Mog Station. What are we doing right now? Like, what is the game at that point? What are you doing? There's nothing going on.
You know what it is? It's League of Legends. Now you tell me, do people play League of Legends to have fun? No. They play League of Legends so that they can force the entire enemy team and their team to look at their cool skins, a fucking like kawaii Sona with big tits.
That is not true.
That's all League is.
That is
that's
not
what
true.
14
They play it just to feel the emotion of anger.
You go
But
there
they
for
don't,
anger.
they don't show off because the skins in League are like 12 vertices. Like,
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
you zoom in and then they, I don't know, Sona says that
but
like
yeah,
you're
no.
epic.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean, I get
Layla
that.
is right. League players play for the feeling of extended rage that lasts over a period of 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're paying to look cool or you're paying to stand out with your cute glamour that you've pieced together through, you know, 6 different $12.99 purchases and mix and matched all your pieces to look as cute, you know, best Barbie girl ever. But that's fine, whatever. But then if you're paying for a dungeon that no one's going to see,
Have they got you, Mela?
Well,
yeah.
Is Margot Robbie in your DMs?
Well,
Yeah,
if
she is actually, thank you.
if you
Having a lovely conversation.
well, what you're pointing out is you get the glamour to look a certain way. So, but you still do content where you're doing it so that you
Exactly.
can look like that while doing content.
So
'Cause
everyone can see you.
there's still
You know
something
what?
there.
That actually brought a cursed thought to my mind. I think there are people that would pay money to instantly get an item from a dungeon rather than farm the gear themselves.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
obviously a
That's-
good market for that kind of
As
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
mobile games,
Yeah.
people would definitely, if instead of farming for the Thornton card, Georgi, you could have just paid $2.99 for it and never had to
I wouldn't have
doing
paid
that.
for it because that's not
Listen.
how I work.
It's
No,
on
because
it's
there's
on
no
the
sense
Steam
of
marketplace.
accomplishment.
99
There's no
cents.
sense of accomplishment if you buy it.
Well, I don't care so much about the accomplishment, whatever, but like there is no purpose to the game if you're not like I struggle with like the existential part of this. Why are you logging in if all you're doing is stand in Mog Station gear and wanting to just buy clears of content?
I don't know.
What
Obviously, there's nothing
is
more
your
fun to
purpose? Why do you
I mean,
exist?
you can ask the same thing about people who whale in like gacha games, like why?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think most people come out with the answer of just like
I mean,
you work a 9 to 5. It fucking sucks. You deliver pizzas. But you know what? You can go home and spend $500 on fake Grand Order and get Jalter with fucking massive bonagos, and people love that.
I
So
know.
show off.
Is it for like just to like release the pressure, if you know what I mean? Is that what?
Yeah,
just buying
absolutely.
new ways of releasing pressure.
Well, is it that, Rollo? Because I mean, all the JPEGs are online for free.
Yeah, but no, then you can poke
Yeah, you
the
gotta
JPEGs.
have them in
and then
your
you can
collection.
Yeah, and then you can do the little quest that like, oh,
That's
master,
not
I love
necessarily
you.
true. The reason people enjoy gachas is like, going back to like trading card games, is to get the pull. They
Right.
want that rush
Okay.
when they get the legend.
I understand gotcha. That one, it triggers our lizard brain. It's just it's gambling. So you or
It's gambling.
it's kind
fun.
of form of.
And
So
it's totally harmless. It's just 3,000
Yeah.
gems, primo gems between friends.
I'm just thinking about like, because what Nat in this MogMail is more clear cut. You buy the content. You buy the
Exactly.
rewards.
I don't get. Well, I get it in a game where the devs need to make money and it's free or whatever, like Destiny 2 or ES or whatever. I get it, but I don't agree with it. But
Yeah.
not in 14 because we're paying a sub for this.
Yeah, that's the weird part. So in this case, I would assume the sub would be abolished if they were to add this.
Well, there was God, I saw a really good video on it, but it reminds me of a bit of the case in Fortnite, where it's, I think, was it Dan Olson's video, I think, about like Fortnite being a party, right? It's a free party you go to. You can, you see everyone dance and see Marvel and all that. But if you just play without paying, your interactions are kind of limited in terms of like the skins and emotes. I don't think it's that bad in 14, but like getting some of that stuff on there is like a way for you to interact and express in the non-stop party that is Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It.
I just think for the for a solo dungeon experience, that there's no way of. I mean, what are you gonna do? Go online and say, "Wow, I really loved that 4-hour dungeon I just paid for in Final Fantasy 14."
Yeah. One thing that also, I think part of we have said that MMOs have struggled. We're struggling with a problem that younger people are not coming into this medium anymore.
Exactly.
It might be because the older people that are playing the MMO that have more money to go, because they're turning games into like whale games that an 18-year-old will never have the money to like enter. Like they'll be like, I'm not gonna. I earn like fucking. I have $50 on my bank account right now. I can't pay for this like big booby breast lady now and enter this.
What's the point?
Lukiel, I'm so sorry to say you, some of the biggest whales are some of the brokest fucking people.
That was my next point. Is that the poor people, some of the people that actually go into this game get fucking ruined.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look. Imagine if you introduce gacha to like those elderly people that just go into like slot machine parlors.
Yeah.
Weekend.
I agree.
Yeah.
Get a few grannies in front of like Genshin or something. At least they're, it's not fruits that are
Genshin. That's one of the more involved like games
Yeah.
you have to play.
Listen, you got to grind those primo gems. We got to sell characters on eBay. Come on.
Yeah.
I think the younger people are the whales. I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of wealthy, more adult people.
I don't think
that
there
are
young people in Wales.
No, that is true as well. Wales is dying.
Wales is an old country.
Yeah. Well, anyways, hopefully this is not a glimpse into the grim future. And just,
I mean, if it is, I'll not be playing 14 at that point.
Well, at that point, we know why MMOs are dying, because if this is happening.
Addressing the part of the question that's more about just like the lack of like side content. I mean, I don't see where they would get the manpower to make this side content without taking it away from the content that we already pay for.
Right.
So I also don't like it from that angle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Thank you, Nat. Hopefully, again, this isn't this is never happening, I hope.
Never happening.
Okay. Next MogMail. This is from Azraith Eden. from Phoenix. Greetings, speakers. I recently had a thought about the finale of 5.3 and whether or not it ends up being a plot hole. After the battle atop the tower had reached its end and the Exarch became a statue, should not the Scions and Warrior of Light have been sent back to the source immediately? Unless I am forgetting something, the post-game and patches until 5.3 revolved around seeking an alternative to not have to sacrifice the life of the Exarch to return home. So as the Exarch becomes the crystal, the only two options are either 1, the Exarch is not dead per se, or 2, the summoning magic did not work as the Exarch thought it would. For 1, I can entertain the idea that the tower and the Exarch became so intrinsically linked when he crystallized that it essentially became so the crystal tower cast the magic. For 2, seeing as it's all rather experimental, the Exarch could just have been mistaken to how summoning magic worked. Perhaps he was using the same logic as summoning Void Scent, where it required an anchor of sorts to persist on another shard. Do you think there's a definite answer to this conundrum, or did the game just rule of cool to have a proper send-off for everyone on the first?
This is actually addressed. I think if I remember 5.3 correctly and 5.2, I think they do theorize that like your second theory is the correct one, that they talk about it in game, that like that just because Graha, that's why they didn't want to sacrifice or the Crystal Exarch, because they were like, that might not even work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I believe we've answered this question before as well. I talked about this before at least. But yeah.
The game goes through it throughout the plot.
Yes. This is explained in the game.
That's why we go through all the stuff with the little pneumo and we create the vessels and blah blah, because we realize how it works.
Was he dead? Imagine if the Exarch isn't dead and he's still alive, just frozen in there. He's locked in forever.
What a horrible existence.
Yeah.
Turn him into a housing item.
Please, Diable.
Yes.
Yeah, I want it to be any color of crystal I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Azwraith Eden. Moving on. Next MogMail. This is from Uzora Akari from Goblin.
Oh, Goblin.
Yeah.
Hey, speakers. I was reminded
Goblin.
During last week's discussion, which is now several weeks ago, that 14 likes to just sort of forget prior zones exist once we move on to the next expansion. It is a shame that 14 has this massive world, but only ever wants to play with the new toys. In my weekly insomnia-fueled thoughts, I was thinking it'd be nice if maybe every few patches, each expansion, they would add a quest chain in a prior zone just for fun. For example, we could get a small low-stakes quest chain in the Dravanian Forelands, where you get to solve some problems for some chocobo farmers and see more of their lives. Just something that wouldn't require a ton of work, but would at least remind players that these zones still exist and have stories to tell beyond their required MSQ workload. Or, just bring back Post-Moogle. Is there any other way... Oh my god, my neighbor is just outside my window with his motorcycle.
Just watching.
Can you just leave?
Rev it up, baby.
Stop revving. I'm so tired of it. Every day, dude. Every day. Is there any other way that they can keep... Oh, God. Is there any other way that they can keep past zones alive now that they're not even encouraging it through relic grinds? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for all the content.
Yeah. Bicolor gems.
Yeah.
Different ways of obtaining bicolor gems.
Yeah.
Like daily quests that take you into random zones to do random things.
Yeah.
Create a system that...
Like a global beast tribe or something?
Something like... Well, yeah, but endless. Just create a system where it will pick, 5 different zones from any expansion, and you go there and do, one of them multiple options of small quest.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, but it'll keep people going into older zones.
Yeah.
The story thing's nice, like they've suggested, where there's a small quest line, which we do sometimes have, very rarely, to go back into odd places.
Yeah,
but...
sometimes even during MSQ, they'll be like,
yeah.
This person is over there in just an old zone.
Just have a chat with them. But it's fine.
I mean, patches 5.4 and 5.5 were all, I'm pretty sure, entirely set in old zones, because obviously every main character except Reen is back on the source.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank God.
And even now, we've got content that's taking us back to the first. We have the Andon's custom deliveries. We have the current crafter relic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
I think
like Splendorous Tools doesn't take you out of Zarium that much, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think every zone has the potential, or even like explicitly stated, like there's a constant conflict there. Or I mean, not every zone, but most of them. Like, was it the Azim Steppe? Like, I'm sure managing those tribes, there are some kind of daily stuff you could do there. You could build up on that. Same thing in, I don't know, was it Eastern Lenosha? They still got the fucking Imperials.
Yeah.
In Costa del Sol.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, if they're gonna be there, at least do something with them, you know.
See, the issue is they can't ever remove them because their existence is explicitly tied to content. You need
that's what I'm saying. I build off of that.
Yeah, I mean they also the castrums, I believe, are part of literally the map. These are not temporary structures that they can change.
Yeah.
Although I think they can change, they can add to them. So like you can like reclaim the castrum and make it look different, but you can't remove the mobs. That's the problem.
Because
so if there was a quest
line,
if there was a quest line to reclaim the castrum or make it theirs, I can imagine they could like make it look different, like freshen it up and look more Eorzean and make it look less hostile. But you can't remove the mobs. The only way they would be able to solve that is to put it in another instance, which would come with its own set of problems.
It's why when they introduced the castrum that is in Yansha, they actually put no Garlean mobs in it. It's entirely full of wild creatures.
Yes. The same with the castrum in Mordona, which also doesn't make any sense anymore. But
they're just chilling. That's something you could do something with that, like an eternal conflict for the rest of the game of like, hey, the Garlands are coming out to scavenge resources. Here's a daily or something. Here's something to fate involved fate chain. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
that would require them to adjust the lore a little bit because currently every Garlean that is still in Eorzea is just like a split off faction from the
They didn't get the telegram.
They didn't get the telegram.
No, I think they know, but they also know they can't go back. But also they should know now because the Empire has fallen. But who knows?
Well, I mean, a group of Guardian soldiers has remained in Mordona, and they've launched an attack on Revenant's Toll. Go out and meet them in the marshlands or whatever and fight them. It's pretty simple to Brian come up with some small quest chain or fate chain or daily, something to keep you in old zones.
Yeah,
I think it would be very easy to do.
Also, there's just so much random stuff, like especially in they haven't like done anything with. Like, I mean, I know they plan to, but like the random ziggurats in Garabanya for
like the meat eaters.
Yeah, I mean that was supposed to be beast trap, so but like.
Yeah.
You could always go back. There's nothing stopping you.
True.
Yeah, on the topic of tribe quests, I actually was thinking about this when you brought up the Azim Steppe earlier. I think there would be a great opportunity. I think I brought this up before. There are so many opportunities for them to go into like lore of like the various like races of like. When is the last time we heard anything about like Duskwhite lore? It would be nice if we could just get like a quest line related to that.
Yeah,
that would be neat. It'd be good to know. What the different tribes do as well. Also, you could chuck in Fate or Beast tribes or whatever into Chloe. Into Wondrous Tales. You could say do like 6 Beast tribe quests, or do the Fate, or do two Fates in this zone, or 5 Fates in this zone, whatever. Because her book is quite boring.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't freshened that up a bit more.
It's always 4 roulettes at the top, and I don't want to do them all.
Right.
You don't to do them all,
but they're easy as well.
Yeah,
but then it'll be like a few that you can solo, and then a few extremes you can't solo. in some really random as like rival wings every week. Excuse me?
No, the bottom right one is always a different PvP. You just must be unlucky, Mailer.
Yeah.
We switch between Rival Wings, Frontlines, and Crystalline Conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just make it more random. Chuck in some fates.
I'm not against that. Like having complete, like, 5 fates in a zone or something. That would be fine. Yeah, this is the age-old question, though. It's keeping old zones alive. I feel like this is a topic we've been touching on a lot. It's probably the most relevant topic for any MMO, I think, as they get older, is how do you utilize... I think 14's doing a decent job at keeping the old zones alive, all things considered. Like, it's... there is still some... I mean, A Realm Reborn suffers the most, I think, in terms of, like, return value, because there's not really... The fate system in A Realm Reborn, pretty horrible. Like, the fates... A Realm Reborn fates are boring, because they're, like, the most basic ones. There were there's a couple that might be interesting, like the defense of Highbridge in...
Highbridge and the Red Belly...
The Red Belly Hive.
Yeah, Red Belly Hive. Those are interesting fates. But they're low level, so you don't really get much from them. So...
And
you get unique minions.
Yeah, true.
A Realm Reborn is the part of the game that gets every like seasonal and like crossover, just
that
because it's the most accessible.
That is actually a good point.
Every new player is going to be going in them, so I think you see the biggest emptiness in like
Kurthus,
Heavensward and Stormblood zones, especially ones without tribes. If there's no tribe in a zone, you're not going to see many players.
Like, how often do you go to the Western Highlands? Like, how...
I don't ever want to go. It's so depressing and sleepy.
On very rare occasions to look around.
Yeah.
Maybe if we were doing Gideonair, so I could take some pictures for that.
Last time we did 2 years ago. So.
Yeah. But, like, other than that, it's very rare to go to there.
Right.
Or, like, Azis La. When you go in there.
Yeah.
Unless you do unlock the Warring Triad quest if you've not done them, or what,
I like something that Chat said. I like something Chat said earlier. We need to bring back the second dungeon.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
agree. I'm so upset with one dungeon, and I've been upset with one dungeon since we went down to 2 dungeons and then 1 dungeon. It's like I love the dungeons.
I miss the hard modes.
I miss
cool.
the hard modes.
Yeah.
They were cool
like
remixes.
Going back to old dungeons to have a different route through them. It makes them feel more part of the world.
Yeah, I agree.
And like the first part of every hard mode is almost always like beat for beat a section of the original dungeon, so they're saving on assets as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a cool new way of going through them.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Okay. Well, there you go. Thank you, Zora.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to the next MogMail. Here we go. Oh, this is from Kit Kat from Ragnarok.
Nice, Ragnarok.
Hi, speakers. As we all know, glamour is the true endgame. And as a red mage with a male character, I find it so disheartening when I see Yoshi-P's printouts every other live stream showing off the new gear that casters/healers will be rewarded with. New robes and dresses, yay. 14 obviously doesn't gender lock its classes, but does it feel that perhaps the developers/designers expect certain in-game genders to play certain roles based on these design choices? Or do you think the designers are just out of touch with what the players are actually wearing/want to wear? Bit of a loaded topic, but I thought it might provoke some interesting discussion. Kit.
It's partly based on thinking specific genders.
I think healers specifically has that problem.
Healers very much. They want female healers.
Yeah.
But it also goes back to class identity. And when you think of caster, they're thinking of a very generic wizardy type role. Because red mage is very unique with its like corsair look.
Yeah.
Most unless you're wearing red mage artifact gear, you're not gonna look like a red mage very easily. And I don't I want more diversity in my gear. I don't want to be wearing a robe every patch. Why can't I have battle armor or something like a battle mate, or
Yeah.
I don't know, a shirt rather than a robe?
The issue with Red Mage is that a lot of its gear would look better if it got to use range gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
They look more like a ranger. The bards don't look like rangers anymore. Red mages look more like a little ranger with a little tricorn hat sort of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
but
Dancers
yeah.
also suffer from this, where I think they would probably be better if they shared gear with maybe either ninja or maiming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Also
Yes.
striking, I think, actually.
they have such weird like design choices sometimes for like the archetypes of the gear sets. Not the gear sets, like the actual entire sets up, like the striking sets and all that, and the tanking sets. They're so committed to just pigeonholing themselves into this. It's got to look like this, This gear set, the scouting gear set always has to kind of look like this. The range one always has to look like this, or range physical. If you just said like, I think if you literally just swapped like 3 of them around for the rest of the game, like I don't know, Gary said like maybe making the magic one, the range casters, just the range physical for an expansion. People like, oh, that's different.
They have actually done that a couple of times. Like, I feel like one of the recent sets, either in this most recent patch or the one before it, they actually did swap the caster, and so like healers shared gear with like the design aesthetic with ranged rather than caster, which is not what always happens.
I think it is sad though. You're right with them pigeonholing, and like as a apparently tank main now, I like the armor look. I like my little lizard lady when she's tanking to be dressed like a crusader as a paladin. Got that holy Ishgard look.
Mm-hmm.
But every single time, it's plated chest piece with 50% cloak tail. The little half cloak that they do all the time now.
Yeah.
Never see the trousers because they're completely covered by the boots. So the trousers are irrelevant.
Same issue for casters and healers.
Yeah. So they might as well not give us them.
Well, that's why White Mage's artifact gear originally just had like little briefs,
little pantaloons.
Yeah, the culottes.
Yeah,
I love that classic. That's the real healer gameplay.
Yeah.
Original White Mage was just like ERP heaven.
Yeah.
But and the helmets.
Yeah.
Please just saw off my horns when I'm wearing a helmet.
Headpieces suck in this game. Just don't wear them. Like they're
so bad. I'm not like anytime I get a good headset, my stupid horns.
Yeah, there are some like, but if it's a helmet, don't wear it. Or if you're a white mage, don't look forward to it because it's gonna be some sort of
a little nun
habit. Yeah, it's gonna be something like that for.
That's the new hotness liqueur for healers. The habit. It used to be circlets.
Yeah, we had it so good back then, and now it's this.
But every now and then they come up with a really nice, unique-looking set, like the dungeon set from Pagelthan. I like that it looks nothing like what you would expect of all of the roles as you normally would see them.
Right.
Yeah. And they're going hard on MMO armor in Pandemonium, which I appreciate. At least. I love being just a big, glowy, fiery...
I don't
obnoxious.
I don't see the logic in like 14 Sword. I know that there's something about the robes and like enhancing the quality, like the mind and intelligence of the caster or whatever the fuck. But if you're on the front line, which is how they do war in Eorzea, that's been proven. We do that. We do like just normal ass war. Wouldn't you want your designated healers to be shielded, like armored up, so that they don't die? Because
they got magic shields.
That nun habit is not going to save them from a fucking Garlean bullet.
They use stone skin.
No, we can't. the heavier the armor, the harder it is for us to absorb ether through our skin.
But give us ether armor. Just give us
But I'm a paladin. I have a massive light aspected holy chain of magic.
Yeah.
And can heal and do magic. I am a partial master.
Let us be like bare feet, so we can suck up from the ground, you know, through the feet.
Completely like a tin can, but with no.
Yeah.
What a look.
Yeah. I think we should.
You were saying something, Rollo.
Yeah, I think we should just do a full 180 on how armor works in this game. Give people like armor class ratings. So like, if you want to wear the heavy armor, you can, but you have a lower chance to hit.
That is a great idea.
That's right.
No,
fuck all this
removed
shit.
accuracy from this game.
Yeah, that's no.
Which is going to be just like fucking D&D now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. You have to spec into the set. Like you have to have a proficiency, heavy armor proficiency level.
I will say though, I really like because Yoshi-P, you know, we always say this is just wrong about this, but you know, when he said like, yeah, you know, you wouldn't want to like see a tank wearing a bikini or whatever, right. Or you know, or like with an axe or something like that.
Have you seen players in this game?
Yeah,
that. But also, this isn't that kind of game where that matters. If you're making like an FPS and you need to know someone's silhouette and you're restricted to like kind of skins and stuff you can make, sure, right? Like characters have to look a certain way for quick identification. This is not a Twitch finger FPS. This isn't fucking CS:GO, Rainbow Six Siege. They can look like whatever.
Have you ever seen anyone unironically walk around with the fucking nun habit full gear set? Like unironically. Have you ever seen that? No. Because no one wants their character to look like that. Literally no one. I have never seen anyone wear that. Without like joking. Like, you know, they're wearing like sexy, you know, all of the sexy gear, and then they wear the habit on top just because it's funny. Because
that counteracts the sin.
Right.
So they're balanced overall. But on Rollo's point, even if that was an issue, they've added a feature into the game quite recently where everybody has their class symbol right next to them for quick identification, so it doesn't even matter.
No, that's true.
And they've released several PvP armor sets which are full plate mail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Why are all the PvP sets armor, like heavy armor? Where's the caster PvP set? Where's the robes? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
they bonk you in the head and it hurts.
Yeah, I think just to your point, it is very clear that at least for White Mage, they have locked in an archetype like this. It's a female character. That's what most healers
White
are.
Mage from Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same with Black Mage. Yeah. It's wearing like a terracotta plant pot hat.
Yeah, Astrologian specifically as well is also very, very much in the same lane.
I mean, the Goetia set's a bit different from the typical Black Mage.
Yeah. Goetia one was kind of nice. But Black Mage is tough.
Yeah. Also, I don't care what you wear in a dungeon. You know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, my immersion was broken a long time ago in this game. I don't care. Like,
if you can't respect the lore of the game and the world, the theme that they're trying to create, I'm gonna have to report you.
Okay.
It's any option.
I mean, Scholar and Sage also suffer from like not getting very lore appropriate gear from the from dungeon drops, because I mean, Scholars are supposed to be like field medics and Sages are like essentially doctors.
Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Thank you, Kit Kat. We'll do one last one. MogMail. Let's go. This is from Ian C. from Brynhilder. Dear speakers, after watching your 351st video, so 5 episodes ago, over the patch notes for 6.4, you mentioned a list of unused icons, and it reminded me of the fact they added 3 new icons for content that was only in 1.x/legacy, the 3 factions. The icons for them have a small rounded border around them, as if they're either a quest header icon, achievement icon, or some sort of content tab icon. I was wondering if you had ever thought about the potential return of the Horn in Hand, same as Shields, and the Brotherhood of the Broken Blade. Yeah, this was really absurd. I think I touched on it when we talked about like unused icons in that episode, but there are 3 specific icons in the game that are tied to abandoned content from 1.x. It was actually abandoned during 1.0 when Yoshi-P took over. So
sad.
They were the Levequest factions: Horn in Hand, Azamus Shields, and Brotherhood of the Broken Blade. The Broken Blade, you might remember, it is the icon with the broken sword on it. I think we have it as an emote on our Discord server. So I'll explain it quickly because you might not know what it is. When you were doing Levequest in vanilla, we're talking launch 1.0. There were you did Levequests. When you did Levequests, you would get certain, I don't remember the exact name, but it would be like favors for a certain faction. So it was one of 3: Horn in Hand, Azamus Shields, and Brotherhood of the Broken Blade. And after a certain amount of Levequests had been done, you would have a little score. You would see how many points you had with each faction. It would unlock a special type of Levequest for that faction, which would be like expanded Levequest. So some of them would be like investigate Ul'dah and do certain things, and then you would get a reward. They were almost immediately, reputation, I guess, is more similar to what it was.
I love reputation.
And then when Yoshi-P took over, this content was quickly just abandoned and converted into Grand Company Levequests. So the Grand Companies took over for these factions. I don't even know if these factions would fit into 14 anymore, because Brotherhood of the Broken Blade specifically, I believe, were against beast tribes. Like they were that was their whole purpose, was to fight beast tribes.
So it's just like Melwib in the early days.
Yeah, which is why it was so weird to see them make new icons for these factions. I mean, the factions are mentioned in game. They're not retconned. There's actually, it's said that these 3 factions went together and formed the Adventurers Guild. That's why in 1.0...
The Adventurers Guild has some bad
No. Well, yeah, kind of. That was still lore in 1.0, by the way, because you went to the Adventurers Guild and you would get favors or reputation with one of the 3 factions by doing certain quests. But it's still mentioned in the game. So they made these... I wonder if maybe they were thinking... Maybe bring back that? I mean, it would add a layer to Levequests to have like a reputation system for Leaves.
That would be nice, though.
Yeah.
When did they add these icons? Do we know?
It's a few years ago. I don't remember exactly the date. It was it was like right before Shadowbringers, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reputation in this game currently is very arbitrary, like with the tribe quest, because it just goes up by a certain amount a day if you do them.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't. But this is more like you can basically do it at your own pace.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the icon. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, this is sort of along the lines of what I want for instead of just having like
show the tiny icon.
Races. Instead of just having like race quests, you could also have like faction quests like this in the style of Beast Tribes.
Yeah.
Or tribe quests.
I think that's an interesting idea. It would also, again, bring some life to the Levequest system. Hello?
Here come the Levequest.
There aren't any Levequests left.
Well, do you not like the idea that you do Levequests? Also, it's like a look into the original vision for Levequests. You would do certain amount of Levequest, and they would put you, they would lean towards one of the 3 factions. And then when you reach a certain point, you unlock these like big, very different Levequests for the certain faction.
That's like a real MMO.
And imagine if they expanded on it, you could rank up with these.
I'd love that.
And get even more rewards as you get up in this, like climb the system.
Or most MMOs.
Right.
I mean, I was very much thinking of Sea of Thieves, but when you were explaining this system.
Yeah.
I love things like that.
You would, well, if you
can grind them at your own pace as well, so you can go hard on them or not. Whereas that you kind of locked behind time.
I think Horn in Hand was crafter and gatherers only. So they covered. So it's all. I know you're saying leaves are crafters only. I am hoping that with this they were planning to bring back battle leaves again.
Oh please! I've said it so many times. Battle. The issue give no XP. Please give them more XP.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I think the issue is that I just feel like they have disassembled what was once this system into too many different systems that exist currently in the game.
Yeah.
Like we have tribe quests, we have custom deliveries, we still have Disciple of the Hand and Land leaves. Like I feel like it would feel repetitive based on the systems we already have.
Right. Right.
Unless they built it off one of those systems.
Yeah.
That is true. And the thing is, with having so many crafter-gatherer systems where they all function...
Second, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. They all function the same way gameplay-wise.
Yeah.
But they're all separate.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel nice to keep having to start again, like... Every time you get a custom delivery, you go through the same, steps.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this would also be a nice way to like do. You can have quests. I mean, this would just be a tribe quest essentially, but for like a faction. I mean, if they.
It doesn't have to be like tribe quests.
No.
It doesn't have to be dailies. Like it could.
It just be like a passive system, like where you do it whenever.
You could just have a guy in a stall, and you go there and you collect leaves. No.
Oh.
That was even better because I'm a cutting.
That just at the end, Rollo's sabotaging the end of the episode. What do you do?
Yeah, but like you
Rollo
could
will
go to
return.
a counter and have the person from the Broken Blade, and he says,
Rollo will return in the next chapter of Hildebrand.
Yeah.
Here are some quests. Go out and do them.
Yeah.
You do them, your reputation goes up. Do I want to do more today? Yeah, I'll grab some more quests. And
I don't think they ever want something that you can grind out all immediately, Mailer. I think
No.
they much prefer the system that forces you to come back either once a week or once a day.
Well, that's why leaves
weekly I accept, daily I don't like.
That's why I think leaves is a good idea. Leaves have a limit to how much you can
They do. Yeah.
That is true.
So they could even implement like for like for the 3 factions, they could have another limit to how many you can do per day. I mean, that's easy to sort out.
Per week.
Per week, sure. Do it per week. Just
Daily
to
is
change it up a little.
Every time you miss a tribe quest daily,
yeah,
you just lost that.
I lose all interest in continuing.
Yeah, I lose a lot of interest in it when I've fallen off.
I'm going to tell you this right now, Lakil. You need to fucking work on the last 2 tribe quests because they're probably adding the allied tribe quest next patch.
I'll see.
Yeah.
If I remember.
I'll see.
I'll see.
But if it was weekly, like if tribe quests were 12 weekly quests, you can just do them whatever. That'd be much better.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ian C. I mean, they added the icons for a reason. These were specific icons. I mean, obviously, they might have just abandoned the idea. I was waiting for that. There's no helping. There's no saving this. This is how it'll look for the end of the video. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, they put them in for a reason. They might have abandoned it, and that happens. But since they're in there, there's hope. Okay, well that's it. Thank you for your MogMails, everyone. Rollo, you've been on a journey.
Hey. Yeah. Sorry to my network provider, or my network provider Cox should say. Sorry to you guys.
All right. What did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard.
Why are you apologizing to them?
Shout out to Cox.
They should apologize to you. Cox should apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's contact@speakersxiv.com. Cox, we want an apology.
Okay, well, that's the end of the episode, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. We will be back. Oh, yeah, I should mention that the Cerulean Reactor episode for Master and Supreme will be out. And you know what? Let's do it live. Let's be here the moment I press send. I will have to warn you that we do talk about the Final Fantasy 16 trailer. No, sorry, demo. So if you haven't played through the demo or watched the demo, be aware. I've put it in the title as well, so you don't, because we go through the story there. You can skip it though; it has chapters, but that is the most. That is most of the episode.
Well, there's loads of. What a great episode!
It's a great episode. There you go. It's out. It's out for you now. But don't watch it yet. We still have the post show to watch, so make sure you catch that. We'll be back.
You'll miss Gogi's liquids.
Right. We'll be back next week. Same place. Same place. Huh? Same time. Same place.
Same place. Same place.
Same time. Same place. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, Twitch.tv. What? Okay.
What?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.